We've all heard it, cardio kills gains, but what does the science actually say? Let's break down what cardio really does to muscle and how to use it without sabotaging progress. If you're trying to stay lean, boost endurance, or just improve heart health, then cardio makes sense. But let's be real, most lifters avoid it like the plague, thinking it will eat away all their muscle. So today I'm breaking down what cardio actually does to your gains, and more importantly, how to do it without interfering with muscle growth. We'll cover the science behind something called concurrent training, how intensity and frequency affect your results, and whether you should do steady state, HIIT, or skip cardio altogether. And stick around because I'll also rank the different ways to combine lifting with cardio, so you'll know exactly what works best and what to avoid. Now here's where things get interesting, the interference effect. This is the idea that combining cardio and weight training can actually reduce your ability to increase strength and size. Why? Because your body gets two very different signals. One says build muscle, get stronger, the other says burn energy, recover fast and improve endurance. On a cellular level, aerobic exercise activates something called the AMPK, a pathway that helps with energy regulation and endurance. But the AMPK can interfere with mTOR, the key pathway for muscle protein synthesis. Basically, mTOR is your body's signal to build muscle, and the AMPK can slow that down. But here's the thing, interference doesn't mean cardio is bad. It just means you have to time it and structure it properly, so it works with your goals, not against them. Real quick, if you're into this kind of breakdown where we cut through the fluff and dive into training smarter, not just harder, hit that subscribe button. Alright, let's get into the ranking. Which cardio setup actually works best for gains? There are a few different ways to combine cardio with your training. Cardio after your workout, cardio before your workout, cardio on a separate day, cardio on the same day but in a separate block, and finally, how often you are actually doing cardio. Cardio before workout, the worst option. These ones are at the bottom of the list, and probably for a good reason. When you do cardio before lifting, you're already burning through energy and fatiguing your nervous system. That means you won't be able to lift as heavy, and you're more likely to undertrain or cut your session short just because you're exhausted. If building or even maintaining your muscle mass is your primary goal, then doing cardio first is not a good idea. Cardio after workout, still not great. Now this one might surprise you. Cardio after the workout is often considered the best time to do it. But it's actually not ideal either. Sure, it's better than doing it before lifting, especially if it's steady state cardio. But after a tough resistance training, your body is already drained, and adding cardio on top of that can mess with your recovery, especially if it's long or high intensity. Cardio on the same day but in a separate block. This one is surprisingly effective, and it's a major upgrade from doing cardio before or after lifting. By splitting your cardio and weight training into two separate sessions, you give your body a chance to partially recover in between. That means less interference between endurance and strength signals. For example, you could lift in the morning and do cardio in the evening. Even a few hours of rest makes a difference. It's not perfect, but it's a smart compromise if you train multiple times per day. Cardio on a separate day. Doing cardio on its own day, it's one of the best ways to keep your gains safe. Since lifting and cardio don't compete for energy, you get the benefits of both. You can go hard in the gym and still do effective cardio. Just make sure you don't go overboard, especially if you're in a calorie deficit. Training frequency. How often you do cardio. It's not just when you do cardio, it's how often. Doing 1 to 2 cardio sessions per week is usually fine, even during a bulk. But once you hit 4, 5 or 6 sessions a week, especially if they're high intensity, you increase the risk of interfering with muscle growth. So if your main goal is hypertrophy, keep cardio strategic, low to moderate in frequency, and align with your recovery. So here's the bottom line. Cardio doesn't have to kill your gains, but doing it wrong definitely can. Focus on timing, keep your frequency in check, and choose the type of cardio that fits your goal. Personally, I like to keep cardio low to moderate, and I usually do it on rest days, and it's never gotten in the way of my strength and size. If you found this helpful, drop a like and let me know in the comments how you do cardio in your training split. And if you're doing cardio as part of a fat loss phase, especially if you're over 20% body fat, I've got a full breakdown on how I'd get lean if I had to start over. Thanks for watching, drop a like if this helped, hit that subscribe button if you're serious about making gains, and I'll see you in the next one.